Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Oh, fuck.
Heavy.
I've just stubbed my toe.
You mush.
Oh, that hurts.
It's heavy when you do that.
Episode 4 of Hot Kopics. Myself and JR, James Redmond. We're back after a heavy weekend, bro.
Yeah, heavy in both aspects because I still enjoyed it in terms of the match day, just going back to the games, and I said it last week so I won't go too much into it. It's better, it's well better. Watch-alongs are fun. Shout out to anyone who's ever tuned into one of my watch-alongs. We had some great moments, Alisson scoring a goal and that, but if that's in a stadium, that right there is powerful. Like Salah's penalty, not to jump too far ahead of the game, but it was just great. Even before kick-off, the atmosphere was boss. It's just the result. And you know, and I said it in the fan cam, it's actually good we're disappointed about the result against the champions of Europe and the fact we still drew, because I think a lot of Liverpool fans might have bit your hands off before the game for that result. So.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about it later. Amongst other things, obviously the transfer window closes tomorrow, so we're going to be speaking about that as well.
News on Michael Edwards that we're going to touch on further into the episode. So
Michael Edwards supposedly out. We will talk about that. But remember, guys, give us some help. We got a lot of likes on the last video thanks to this man here. He actually replied to every one of your comments. So if you want the same again, why not? Let's go for 300.
Yeah, do you know why? I reckon we try to go for 300 likes, but just smash a like because it means more than you think, and it really helps out the episodes, and it gives us more of an initiative on top of how much we already enjoy it to bring out these episodes. So smash a like, subscribe if you don't already, subscribe to my channel, James Redmond TV, and leave a comment. And for the first few hours, I will reply. After that, I might be doing.
So get them in early.
Get them in early. Saying. Exactly. Get them in
straight
early.
as it's uploaded.
First couple of hours, I'll definitely reply to your comments because I do love to. Engage with the audience because they've been bossed the way everyone's shown support, everyone's messaging me about it. Not even trying to lick your ass, people sincerely, thank you so much for it.
But it's the in-person stuff that we see when we're doing the fan cams.
Over, like the new show,
you know, tens of thousands of people walking by, that's great. But also the Instagram as well is popping off. The views that we're getting on there, the comments, the views from your fan cam. Yeah. We put a picture up the other day. It's on like almost 5k likes.
Even the Chelsea fans who wanted to give me a little bit of slander. As long as you subscribed, then it's all okay. It's all okay.
So listen, we appreciate it. About to touch 7k subs on YouTube. Whoosh. So make sure you help us do that. And we want 10k before Christmas. We're gonna keep bringing you this stuff. Listen, it's a bank holiday Monday, mate. Whoosh. And what are we doing? We're here working.
We're here to talk about the footy.
We're here working, right, and we're bringing it to you, so we appreciate it. Anyway, let's talk about the weekend, really, because there were so many results. I mean, we were 5:30 on a Saturday, almost had that Champions League kind of evening feel. But let's talk about some other results before we get into United. Which one stood out for you, bro?
I thought, out of all the results on the weekend, well, obviously City beating Arsenal 5-0, and not for the fact that they beat them. That weren't the surprising thing. It's just the manner. And I know that they had injuries and stuff like that, and that most certainly would have came into a play. But to beat West Brom 6-0 and then you have an issue against Manchester City, it's like Arsenal. For the first 10 minutes, they can look okay against Chelsea. They looked okay in the opening part, but then they just lose it, and there's many things wrong at that club, from the manager to certain players. Yeah. Even their top players aren't quite looking at it anymore. So they're just in a sticky situation, I'm not going to lie. Spurs obviously going top of the league. They took that the 3 games, winning the league after 3 games title off Everton, so Everton fans are going to be fuming about that, because that seemed to be the last trophy that they won. It was an alright weekend. I just would have liked us to be sitting at the top with them.
It would be nice, but Tottenham are at the top right now, Arsenal on the bottom, and this table that we're currently sitting on and filming on, it has more points than Arsenal do currently this season, more goals, more shots on target than Arsenal do. It's only got 2 points.
You're taking the piss.
The rest is, onto the wall, so it's only got 2 points.
You're taking the piss.
And that's 2 points more than Arsenal.
You need to stop it.
It's mad.
Arsenal fans.
Nah, because obviously, I do want to talk about Arsenal a little bit, because...
Nah, that's our last. That's so our last.
Listen, it is what it is, you know what I mean? 2 points on the table, unlike Arsenal. Man. And listen, I'm saying it from a place of, I grew up in North London around Arsenal fans. Yeah, the Freddie Ljungberg red bit in the hair. We beat them in the FA Cup final.
That's your Everton. That's like your Everton's Everton.
And they did really well. And I think where they were to where they are now, it actually, I wouldn't say pains me to see it, but I do feel sympathy for their fans. But ultimately, and I've said this for so many years about Arsenal, nothing is ever going to change on the pitch when it is how it is at the top of that club. But it doesn't help when a manager keeps making bad decisions and you keep losing big games. However, they did win this week on aggregate 6-5. So not too bad. Obviously beat West Brom 6-0 and then conceded 5 against...
You just need to stop taking the piss out
of
Arsenal.
Let's move on. Soft spot for Arsenal though, even if you probably don't believe me, but it is there. United, let's talk about them while someone in the other flats bloody fire alarm goes off.
They got, for the lack of a better term, fingered. They got absolutely... Here's the thing. They got the win though. That's the most important thing at this point in the season. But does that performance, if there is any United fans watching, and accuse me of being salty if you want, I want Ole to stay in. I really, really do. There's a little part of me that's happy United won. Because if they drew that game and they drew against Southampton last week, already, and you've just signed Ronaldo and you've got Varane, he was in the team, Sancho was in the team, already there'll be a few questions, because you've got to bear in mind, United don't have momentum going into this season. Like, they've got the away record, but you don't have any trophies to back it up. You don't have a Europa League, and the Europa League in many aspects is an away game because you're not in your stadium and you didn't win that. That was the most important game out of all the away games that you've had in recent time, and you didn't win that one. So you can talk about Premier League records all you want, you can talk about these new signings, but if your strikers, so the Cavani's and even when Greenwood's there or Martial, if your strikers are averaging 4 or 5 touches a game, what makes you think that Ronaldo is just going to come in and make all the difference? And he will make a difference, because of Ronaldo in the moments of sorrow, in the Europa League final, the Greenwoods, the Rashfords, you look at a Ronaldo because he's been there, he's done that. He's a Manchester United legend and one of the greatest to ever play for that club. In many eyes, might be the greatest. So when you put it in that way, it is a good signing, and it does add a lot to their team. But does it win them the league? Does it make them better than City? Does it make them better than Liverpool? If we have a better... our starting 11, with our manager, it still eclipses theirs, in my opinion. I think the 2 best teams over the opening 3 weekends has been us and City, based on how you play. Well, actually Chelsea as well, of course, because based on performance. Because I think we've all shown, we're still better than everyone else. United are still struggling. They're still just edging results. Yeah. So that's their problem.
1-0. I mean, Sancho didn't play well. Let's talk about the...
But the thing, do you know good players like Varane had an alright game, but
I thought Varane was man of the match,
personally. The reason why players like Sancho is not playing well in that system isn't because he's a bad player. But if you haven't got a manager, if you've got a manager putting Paul Pogba in a holding midfield role when clearly he's more of an offensive midfielder, then already that's the manager's fault why you may not be getting results. You're putting your best player in the wrong position. Then you've got your best, or not your best signing, but you've got your new fresh signing that's going to be the face or one of the faces of the club for the next however many years. And already he's not working out either. Why? Because when they're going forward, it's just not. It doesn't click. It's not one of them. That's why their strikers don't get many.
Will it click though? I think there are going to be big examples this season. But there are going to be examples this season where United blow teams away. Look at what they did to Leeds in the first game of the season. Yes, and I'm not sticking up for Ollie or United here. But there are going to be times when they do win 4, 5, 6, and you think maybe they are the finished article. I think maybe
with players like that you should be doing it week
but this is what I'm saying, the pressure that they've now put on themselves with buying these players, they're going to have to be successful this season. They're going to have to be, and if they aren't, he's got to go.
It's not a Man United show.
They have to win trophies this season. Anyway,
here's the thing, just to end this sort of topic,
Hot Kopic,
dead quick. It's, you look at that United team, they've got the best goalkeeper of the 2010s. They've got, apparently, according to them, their fans, one of the best, if not the best left back in the league, based off one season of great football. Their words, not mine. And then you've got Wan-Bissaka, who's better than Trent. Then you've got their defence. You've got Maguire, who's 80 million. You've got Varane. You look at their midfield. Apparently, McTominay's good. Pogba's the best midfielder in the world. Bruno's the best thing since fucking Cantona, if not better. And then when you go further forwards up the pitch, you've got Rashford, who is better than Mane, is what I've been hearing based on numbers. And then you look at the rest of the front. You've got Cavani, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Sancho on the other side. They should be winning every game by 6 or... They've got about 10 amazing attackers. Bear in mind, they've still got Juan Mata. Juan Mata might not be the upper echelon of football anymore. Still fucking Juan Mata. And he's not getting a look in. You've got Jesse Lingard, which 16 other teams in the Premier League would love to have that player.
Yeah.
No
They've probably got 8 or 9 attackers there that they could
Dan James just chilling.
Dan James as well, who played yesterday, but they scraped through it. Flex was saying it was a smash and grab. It was
for 40 million from Atalanta.
Yeah, that's mad. That is mad. That's mad. Listen, again, the pressure's on. Let's see how you deal with it. Other games that were standouts. There was a lot of goals. Mikel Antonio started the season on fire.
He's done very well so far.
Very well.
But I think it's time for us to touch on our game.
Let's go then to Anfield. 5:30. What a day it was. We were at Taggies. Big up Taggies. Great atmosphere down there. Jamie Webster was there. We were having a few drinks, weren't we, fella? Enjoying the sunshine.
No,
it was hot.
It was lovely. Like I said, everything around the match was brilliant. Even going into the stadium, and fans will banter and say the atmosphere was poor. That's not what I saw. that was
unbelievable
electric at the start, and even throughout the game. The second half, I feel like after the first 15 minutes of the second half, where we had our chances and we just weren't getting put away, I think that's when it might have died down a little bit, which disappoints me because we should still maintain them levels, but it just happens. Chelsea, they were well organised, and I'm not trying to say Chelsea played poor, but my argument after the game was, you're the European champions, you're clearly the favourites going into the game, according to most fans and according to most pundits, and you're celebrating a draw like that. And even though they got 10 men, and I understand.
Well, this is what the comments were saying back to you. Did you not realise that Chelsea had 10 men on the pitch? That I'm just playing devil's advocate.
And do that, and that's fine, but you were doing it before. And Chelsea were playing sound before, but we were still the better team, in my opinion. And that's why I think it just weren't really an excuse. Do you know what I mean? I know that's how they play, and it gets them results. It won you a Champions League, but at the end of the day, it's like they were talking about Lukaku all week. What did he even do? He got
Listen,
all game.
There's a few arguments in this game. We'll talk about the ref, Lukaku, and who started. But I think when they got the red card, obviously straight away Havertz comes off. Kovacic and Thiago Silva goes on.
I don't think.
I think it's a straight red card, bro.
I think it's a penalty. I think you need to try and put circumstances into it, and you need to think about.
He stopped the ball from going in the goal with his hand.
That's why you get the penalty.
But that's a red card, bro. Listen. Again, Joseph in the fan cam, he was saying the double jeopardy thing. It doesn't exist anymore, and I don't agree with that, to be honest. Obviously, there will be times when I don't know, Virgil's going through with Lukaku on goal. He has to take him out, gets a yellow card for it, and we'll be thanking it then. But this instance, it's not only deliberate handball, which anywhere on the pitch would be a yellow card, really, if you just go like that.
Is it deliberate?
Bro, he's gone like that. It's hit him, and you can see his arm. It hits his arm, and then he goes like that.
It goes off his leg, though, as well. It goes off his leg, and then
he's leaning into it, and he goes like that. Because the actual screenshot shows him like that. Like he's leaning to this side.
If he's leaning forward,
but then after his arm goes like that.
If he's leaned forward and done that, and the momentum.
And when he's running off to camera, he goes like this. He goes like that as the refs run into VAR. So, bro, he knew. So I think that's a red card, personally. But the Lukaku argument, that's settled. For me, he had a couple of, I'm not going to lie, there was one moment, which you'll remember, in the first half when they were attacking the Kop. And the ball's played quite square to him in the middle. Shrugs Matip off and turns. And there was a moment in the Kop where I went, oh, shit.
This could be a long day.
However,
I saw that.
Let's say there was maybe 10 duels. That's the only one he won. Didn't really threat. I mean, Joel Matip blocked one from close range that the keeper probably would have saved anyway.
I think Virgil had him a lot in the second half as well.
So Lukaku loses that one. Let's talk about the ref, though, because from the Kop, he was getting called every name under the sun. Mostly a slap-headed... whatever you want to put after that, really, just that loads of words, and then I'd turn round and it would be a slaphead or a bold person who was saying it, and he's like, yeah, I can say it, lad. So the ref, we thought he was bad, but Chelsea fans have signed a petition to have him never ref their games again. 57,000 people have signed it, bro. We thought he was bad, but Chelsea fans thought he was even worse because of the red card, which I do think was a red card.
He was crap for
both. It was shit.
He was crap for both teams. I mean, they're just devastated because we scored a penalty, which is a part of football. Don't clear the ball off the line. That's clearly going in with your fucking hand then, and then maybe we won't concede the penalty.
And,
but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It was a penalty. Whether it's a red or a yellow, it was a penalty. The ball was going into the fucking net. So don't be talking about, the only way you score. We scored the same way you scored off a corner. We were going to score off a corner. So we just done what you done. I genuinely believe we were the better team. I really, really do. I think if we played them again next week, I'd be confident that we could win. It's different to when we played them last time, because now we can build momentum. And teams are still sleeping on us, which is great, because I think that's what we need. I don't think we need this added pressure of, we must win the league. We need to prove that we're still there with the City and even Chelsea of this world. So and I believe had a fucking good start to doing that, my mate.
I mean, if you look at Klopp's general record against the top six, it's definitely better than it is worse, for sure. But there are going to be some times where, if we are playing a City away, we might have to resort to... I mean, I'm not saying we're going to do what Chelsea did and put 10 behind the ball. But if we get an equaliser or we're leading, let's say at the Etihad later on in the season, then it's 1-1 with 20 to go, you could understand coming away with a draw and not feeling like it's the end of the world. Yeah. Whereas on Saturday, I was more towards the angry side because from what I saw across that game, we should have won it.
100%.
But there are going to be times when we're going to be happy to take a draw. That's what I mean.
100%.
If we're not going to lose.
And a draw is not a bad result.
We've won 12 games in a row, bro.
We can talk about all we want. Well, that's not right because we just draw. Do you mean before the draw?
Yeah, before that, we've won 12 games in a row from last season.
Well, here's the thing. Against top six, it's all good and well getting your results against the top six. There's still 14 other teams in the league to worry about. So if you're not going to be... It's the smaller teams. The 6-game losses. Yes, City and Chelsea were involved with that, but there was also Burnley. There was also a few sides that we absolutely categorically should have beat. We even drew against a few teams last season that you should be... Fulham, one that comes to mind. Newcastle, another that comes to mind. I think we actually lost Fulham and drew against Newcastle. Either way, if we beat all them 14 teams, so we've already beat Norwich fairly comfortably, beat Burnley fairly comfortably, we can beat all the other teams. Which again, you're asking for a lot, but you're putting yourself up for a serious title charge. Why does City win the league near enough every year? Why do they win the League Cup near enough every year? Because they have enough quality to put away the smaller sides. Their style of football just washes them away. So I don't mind drawing against Chelsea. Let's say even if we lost against City, let's say even if we drew against United, I'd rather drop points in them games and then win the Spurs, the Arsenals, and then below that you can go with Brightons and stuff. Like, all these different teams, these are the ones that you need to beat to go and win trophies. That's the most important thing. Yeah. So I'm fairly confident, to be honest.
It was a very on-the-edge atmosphere, and especially when the penalty happened, there was that bit of handbags after with Henderson, Lukaku coming over. But for me, that was a real throwback to when I used to go to Anfield and watch Liverpool play Chelsea in like 06.
That's what it's about.
Do you know what I mean? 06
That's what I like about the Chelsea team. They're fucking snappy, man. They'll try and get into your heads. And that's what I liked about us. We didn't back down to them. You know, they talk about mentality monsters. That's what we need to be. We need to be more aggressive to other teams. Even Rudiger trying to do the thing in the penalty, like he tried
Torres did that. I remember at Old Trafford once.
It never worked. The second that Salah just grabbed the ball and kissed it, I was like, it doesn't matter what you do.
He's got Allah with him now. He's not going to miss that. No facts
though, lad. Like Salah, he has a different belief when it comes to it. It's why he has such a great record. Another thing, 40 goals and assists against the top six sides since he's joined the league. 40 goal contributions.
Another stat for you. He's taken 18 penalties for Liverpool, missed his first one against Huddersfield, which he scored from the rebound anyway, and hasn't missed for 17. If he gets another one, he'll equal Jan Molby's 18 in a row.
Wow.
Come on, we both came with the fucking facts there, my bro.
But this is why he's a legend. He's not just a great at Liverpool. He's not just a great right now in the league. He is an all-time great. The Thierry Henrys, you better put Salah in that.
But do you think Ronaldo's coming back to actually go, right, everyone's been talking about me at United versus you at Liverpool? I think him joining United could actually boost Salah. And I got a bit of stick for saying that on Twitter.
It could be kind of like the Messi versus Ronaldo thing.
Salah might go, right, I'm going to have to pull my socks up even more, because if you think I'm losing out to Ronaldo on the Golden Boot this year, no, I'm winning it. I'm going to win it against the best player ever in the world. I'm here again. Well, so that's why when he scores every goal now, he's going mad.
Yeah, exactly. This could raise it, bro. When you talk about defences, we might have the best defence in the league. And I'm not talking about like even just... Chelsea are the hardest team to break down. But when you talk about man for man, there's not many people I'd rather have in my defence than what we do currently have. I'd rather have Robertson over any other left back. Same with Trent, same with Virg.
True, man.
Even Matip, if he's fit, there's not many centre backs on taking over him. Never does anything wrong. Fabinho, I think he's the best holding midfielder in the world. Kante's in that conversation, of course, but
Kante had a good game.
Just based on all round quality, I think Fabinho's there. Obviously, trophies you can maybe edge Kante. However, we've got good quality there, and the difference between us this season and even last season going into it, taking away the injuries, there's not as much to prove. Yeah. Because we were going into last season and teams are saying, you should win the league. Now,
we've got to...
There's more initiative to beat the Man United, because you're no longer just playing against Rashford, who you used to beating, or whatever, or drawing. Now you're playing against Ronaldo, Varane.
It's almost cranked up the the rivalry
makes
even
it just
more. Yeah.
Man City as well. Just even having City are always a big game. Chelsea changing the way they have. Now, if we win the league or put on a really good
No
title
one can
chance,
say nothing.
there's nothing. You can't say nothing. The way we won the league last time was just a joke. But now the competitions that we've spent nothing. These teams have to win the league. We don't.
Let's talk about the Champions League group draw. Porto, Milan and Madrid, Atletico Madrid. By the way, anyone that says Atletico Madrid with an H in it, Atletico, shame on you.
I do that.
Shame on you then, James. It's Atletico.
My fellow Atletico fans.
Who I'm not particularly keen of after they've beat us in the Champions League twice last time out. But
like the Chelsea of the La Liga, aren't they?
let's talk about the group. I mean, it's an exciting one. Milan have never actually played at Anfield before. We've only played them in Champions League finals. Porto, we get them every year. It's like death, taxes, and getting Porto in the group, the three definitely's of life. And obviously Atletico, who started off the season a bit mixed.
And they were obviously
where are we going to finish in that group? And also, 15th of September, we're going to be there at Anfield. Liverpool versus AC Milan.
So make sure that you're there for the fan cams after. No, I think all round it's a tough group. I think it's actually maybe the group of death.
It is a tough group, isn't it?
Because people can say City and PSG is the group of death. Not really, because two teams can go through. So like they're both going to go through in their group. This one you don't know. AC Milan, they're not the notorious AC Milan.
7 titles. 7 European Cups.
It's a joke. It is a joke. The way us, Porto,
and they've taken one off us.
The way us, Porto, and AC Milan have got more Champions Leagues than Atletico Madrid, yet they're the champions of their league. It's crazy. So it's all these factors. I mean, even with Atletico Madrid, they've got Luis Suarez. That's another thing that we're going to have to think about when he comes back. It's a joke, lad. It's a joke.
Again.
But that's the thing. It's an exciting.
Imagine him doing this.
He will, and he will celebrate. You know he's going to celebrate. He'll be there with his big smile like this.
Because he scored against us.
He'll be there looking like this, just like, haha.
Do you know what the mad thing is, though? He's got a daughter called Delfina, which is an anagram for the word Anfield.
Isn't one of his kids like Scouts or was Scouts?
Delfina.
So there we go. Like,
which actually, if you spell it another way, it says Anfield. Delfina. Think about it.
That's just mad, that. Anyway, yeah, that's an exciting group. Like, AC Milan aren't the same what they usually are. Porto are always just a horrible team to beat. But we should go through. We should be finishing top 2, in my opinion, first.
Right, transfer window finishes tomorrow. A big hot topic is the fact that Liverpool aren't going to buy anyone unless something crazy happens.
Which it won't.
In the next 24 hours, roughly.
Which it won't.
I mean, bro, to say that we're still, not going to buy anyone, considering all the chat the last year from up until now, where we were told that next summer would be a big window and we'll spend. I mean, yes, we've got Konate, but this summer so far has been about trusting what we already have. We've seen that with Harvey Elliott. I don't think maybe we need to buy a winger as much as we maybe did now because he's there.
But he's playing
however,
as a
midfielder, bro. Michael Edwards as well, our main transfer negotiator, probably the man who's done easily the best football business in Liverpool's history of all time in selling Coutinho and buying Van Dijk and Alisson. He's off.
Could be.
I think he's going to leave after his contract.
Well, yeah, so just to basically sum it up for those who don't know, Michael Edwards, he's got a year left on his deal and now it's looking like he might not be extending that deal at Liverpool, so it'd be a shame if he went because he does do good business, but let's be real, he doesn't have nothing to do. He has nothing to do. Like, we're not giving him money to go out and buy players, are we? So, like, what's the point in even having him? If we're not going to go out and buy the big ballers, then...
Is that maybe a little sign of a protest from him? Is that something political where he's gone,
I don't think so.
You're not giving me the funds, I can't do my job.
I don't think so. I don't think it will be that. It's a good shout, isn't it? But at the end of the day, like, I don't know why we're doing it. We should keep him, and it's just another thing that if he does go and we don't replace him well enough, another thing that FSG have done wrong. Because you've got to think about life after Klopp. Because Klopp, there's no guarantee he's going to stay for another 5-7 years. He could be gone after this contract. I'm hoping I'm wrong, and I hope that he does sign, like, just even if it's 1-year deals from there on out, like, just get him, keep him here as long as you can. The second he goes, and say if Michael Edwards isn't there, and let's say we don't go and get Steven Gerrard and keep this friggin' lovely feel around the club, we could be in a bit of a mess. And this is what people don't realise. Where we are right now isn't because of FSG, it's in spite of them. It's because of Klopp where we are. That's what people need to... The reason why these players are still performing to the levels that they are is because he makes mistakes. Even in the Chelsea game, he made a few tactical decisions that I did question. But overall, There's a reason why we finished third last season with Nat Phillips and Rhys Williams at centre-back. There's a reason why back-to-back seasons we get 97 and 99 points. There's a reason why we got back-to-back Champions League finals. There's a reason why when he took over Brendan Rodgers' squad, he still got us to 2 finals, which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took 4 years to do. So all these things put into one. Is he just a bad manager? So if he makes a bad mistake, he's a bad manager. He's one of the greatest, and you don't get it. We've wasted this era. Could have been on the levels of the Shankleys and the Bob Paisleys, and it should be, but we've only won a league and a Champions League. In terms of major trophies, they're the only things that we've won. Forget about title charges, forget about like Champions League finals that we got to.
We need more trophies.
We need more trophies.
I'd like more trophies.
We're wasting Klopp's era. He's been
by
here for
not buying,
5 years.
by not
giving him the best possible chance.
And that's why whenever he does what he does, you have to say it's even more impressive. Because look at the budget he's done it on. Like, it's,
and look at everyone else.
No one else could do that, bro. No one else does that. It's like, it's unprecedented.
You've got Arteta, who was at Manchester City, right? And he's working underneath Pep Guardiola, and he's been given all this told it, and it works. And then he goes to Arsenal, and he's still given money. Yeah. And then it doesn't work when it's.
So it must be the manager then.
It's
do you know
got
what I mean?
to be the manager.
That's so important, and I think you're right. When Klopp's contract finishes in 2024, which is this season, and then 2 more, I think.
Yeah. 2023 or 2024.
Yeah. I think that'll be it. He'll be gone. He's already come out and said he's going to have a year off. So.
Well, no, I don't think he said that exactly.
He literally 2 weeks ago said, "No one call me for a year," after he leaves the contract. He literally said that.
So he's definitely.
And he said, "If anyone calls me from a year, then I won't pick it up." Basically,
I don't think that.
There was a literal direct quote.
I think it's more. I think it might have been misquoted because that would have blew up more into proportion if he actually said that.
I'll send you it what I saw.
Nah, defo send me it. What I think is going to happen based on the knowledge that I've got so far, because maybe this quote could change my mind. He could sign a new deal. It won't be a long deal. He could sign one. Things change. Even if he is saying that now, you don't know what he's going to say when it gets to that point. But if we don't keep helping him, and it does keep becoming a stressful job, then he is going to leave. Because let's be honest, lads, you only get a certain amount of years on this earth, and working under FSG, you're probably going to lose a good few of them.
True.
So I think he should, if he's not getting back by that point. Not from a Liverpool fan point of view, but from a football fan of what makes sense. Go somewhere where they're going to back it a little bit more.
Which makes me upset, to be honest, because it is so sad.
He could be the greatest, if not one of the greatest. He already is one of the greatest managers of all time for us, but he could be really there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he could just create an era in itself of the club, which he has.
Which he has, there's no doubt about that. There was something I wanted to talk on as well. Joseph, who was on the fan cams after the Chelsea game, had a bit of a passionate rant. A rant. It's a rant, isn't it? I don't know why I said rant either. Maybe I was thinking about it from an American accent, like a rant, passionate rant. You know, one of those things. Like this guy was passionately ranting. You know,
he needed to, bro.
He was ranting. No, but it's rant, innit? So yeah, he said it was a disgrace, and these are his words, not mine. It was disgrace, and it was embarrassing to see Liverpool fans leaving the stadium as early as 80 minutes. Now, obviously, there's people who will say their arguments for doing that, but then when he was kind of going for it in front of my face, I was thinking, well, actually, he's got a bit of a point there, and the comments kind of reflected that on Instagram as well and YouTube. He goes to all the games, I think, Joseph, and I think he's a YouTuber as well, so
shout out,
big up to you, Joseph. He actually had an interview last week, but as we know, there was a famous rude man who used some expletives and finger gestures at me. So
make sure that you tune into the fan cams with a whole bunch of unexpected bollocks to go down.
I love doing it because every single week,
don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying I fear for my own safety, but anything could happen, bro.
That's the most exciting shit.
Exactly, but you can meet some characters. You come away with some funny moments.
If you see us, please, that'd be much appreciated.
But whilst we're actually interviewing, it'd be nice if people just respect that.
And then, oh no, just let people like have the time to come on to give an opinion. It'd be like,
you
if
can
you
see the camera.
Then come on, let's after. Do you know what I mean?
You can see the camera. Just let us finish, and then we can say, yeah, get on. But yeah, he made them points. What did you think?
I think he's used the right words there, embarrassing and stuff like that. I just think, you know, context with everything, isn't it? Like, people, they might have been going the game the whole life, and sometimes that could be the one day that they leave the stadium earlier because of something. You don't know if they've received a call or whatever. Like there is, but you know the reason why a lot of people they leave so they don't have to wait around after the game and
beat the traffic.
Yeah, there's like even when people leave before half time. Like I've done it before. I haven't done it yet this season, but I've done it before. And something happens, and it's like you need your team to, or you need your fans to really back you before half time, don't you? Because it's a crucial moment. Most goals,
literally Chelsea game.
Most goals in football history, this is statistically proven, I believe, is in the 45th and the 90th minute. So when you actually think of it from that point of view, you need your fans then, because that's the most likely area where you could catch the other team out. So I hear what he's saying. It's just like, it's a sticky one, isn't it? You don't want everyone getting up and leaving for half time and full time.
But you can definitely see the side that has kind of backed him and said, yeah, I agree with him. You know, I would give an arm and a leg to be there.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people who say that, though, it's like, you're not here though, are you? With all due respect. Like, I'm not saying that, but if you live in Liverpool and, you know, you've got places to be, I know that it's like you kill to be there, and I do understand that for people who aren't from Liverpool, who aren't from the UK. But there's still just outside factors that come into it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think everyone's got their own schedule.
Yeah.
But I heard what he was saying, and I appreciate the passion.
I also
do
understand.
You know what I mean?
I'm not saying he's
so it was
wrong.
coming from
I appreciate it.
It was coming from a let's all do this together.
Listen,
kind of thing.
He's saying this from a point of view. This is going to help the team.
Yeah.
Any fan who suggests something that's going to help the team, I am all for it. I'm just also trying to be sympathetic to supporters who might have an actual fair enough excuse to go. But the amount of people that leave, you know, it's just because they want to get home as soon as possible. They don't want to wait around, which might not be the best reason. When you're there to do a job as well, support your team, man.
Premier League little break now, international break coming up. Not the biggest fan of those. Is there any other hot topics that you wanted to touch on?
Ozan Kabak is going to be set to join Norwich on loan with an option to buy. That's looking to be around £8.5 million. If he was to trigger it, made up for him to get him Premier League.
I made up for him until he scores against us in the League Cup for Norwich.
Don't say that. Why have you just said that?
No, because, bro...
I can't say shit like that. Where's Wood? Touch your head.
That frame
Touch
over
your
there.
head.
Yeah.
There we go.
I obviously hope he doesn't, because do you know what? Yes, I want us to win the league and the Champions League this year, but I would love an FA Cup or a League Cup. I can't lie to you. I'd love us to have a really strong run, because the only year we've seen that is Klopp's first season where he got us to the final, League Cup final. We lost that thanks to Alberto Moreno. Get out! But hopefully you can do United again in the old Europa League. But I'd love us to see a domestic little flaunt this season. Let's have a treble. Let's start a hashtag. Give us the treble.
Though, with the manager and with that first 11, if you add a Sabitzer who's just joined Bayern Munich, if you furthermore add, like, Manchester United have got Luke Shaw and Alex Telles as their left backs. They've got Delo and Wan-Bissaka as their right backs. Delo had a great season with AC Milan last season. Real Madrid wanted him in the summer and stuff. They've got them centre backs, like, again, centre backs isn't the greatest, but midfield and then attackers, they've got like 8 for each option. Give Jurgen Klopp just a man for each position.
Well, it's too late. It's too late. The window's shutting tomorrow. It's too late.
But this is what I'm saying. This is why we won't win trebles, but we should.
We should, with this 11, and just hopefully no injuries. Let's look ahead of the week then. So no game, Liverpool game, until the 12th of September against Leeds away. We, of course, will be back next Monday with another Hot Kopics. And then the Monday after that, it will be out on Tuesday, because I will be abroad and we'll be doing it via Zoom. But yeah, let us know in the comments again, like you have been, what hot topics do you want us to talk about? You know, we get together every Monday to look back on the weekend and also try and touch on something a bit different as well. So do let us know in the comments what else you want to hear us say.
Yes.
Or ask, or talk
all that
about.
And more, all that and more. This show has been booming from the moment that we started it, and we want to just keep the momentum going. We want to make sure that you're all enjoying it. If there's anything that you feel like we should change, we are open to constructive criticism, absolutely. And to this point, thank you for all the support that we've had, because it has gone well and I'm enjoying the show.
Yeah, man. Definitely going to try and get you guys more involved. We might even do a live show of this. I know people are asking for that in the comments as well. We'll have a little brainstorm, as they call it. We
could even, just a little suggestion that I'll throw on the show, and let me know if you like this as well. Like the fans, or the viewers of the Hot Kopics show could maybe suggest like unpopular opinions that we could discuss, or whatever statements that we could agree or disagree with.
An argument.
Go for it. Do you know what I mean? Debate. That's what we want.
Yeah, and we are going to get other guests on the show as well in the future too. Definitely. So yeah, as we said at the start, give us a like, comment your hot topic, and subscribe if you haven't already. Nice one. Should we have some food? 'Cause I'm a bit hungry.
Some lad.
Nice one. Whoa. Just before you go,
don't forget, give us a like, drop us a comment and subscribe to the Kop TV.
the voice of football's most famous stand.